Hey everybody, welcome back to Roll for Fun. It is Tuesday night. Sorry for the brief delay, had audio technical issue here, but all is well. We are ready to play. Josh, I can see you. Don't forget I'm looking at y'all when I'm talking. That's not funny. I'm glad you found your way here. Thank you for joining us, as always. Hope you had a great week since last time, and you're ready to enjoy some more D&D tonight with this amazing adventure and this awesome group of people that are playing with me. Thank you for your support. Tonight, as always, big shout out before we get started to Devin Knight, token artist extraordinaire. You can see his link down below here in the Twitch
Joey's
channel.
doing it again.
Is it?
Yeah.
There, I turned Sirenscape off, so it shouldn't be doing it anymore, obviously.
Now you're good.
Yeah. I'll restart Sirenscape in a minute here. But yeah, so please, if you get a chance, check out Devin Knight at immortalknights.com/token site. Amazing artwork for all of you virtual tabletop fanatics, or even people who like to play on regular tables. You can print it out, all sorts of good stuff there. Great person, big supporter of the show. So check him out if you get the chance. Do something a little bit different tonight. Amazing players. They're going to jump in with their own words of wisdom about what they like, how they would. I can't even talk right now because the audio issues got me all jacked up. Anyway, I'm gonna kick it over to them so they can tell you a little bit more about what we have going on at Roll for Fun and how you can show us. We can show you our appreciation, and you guys can support the stream if you like us, which I hope you do. So, Austin, why don't you go ahead and kick it, man?
All right. So, honestly, easiest way to support us would be monetarily, but that goes for anything. We have a Patreon that everyone can go ahead and sign up on. We've got a couple different perks. We have different tiers that you can sign up on. Lowest going for $1 a month. Each tier has like different perks. Like we have private Discord servers. You get to see the digital maps that we use, and occasionally we even post stuff on there that only the Patreon patrons can see. So, I mean, if you want to toss a coin to us, here you go.
All right, Patreon for the win. Check it out. Like you said, as little as $1 a month. Much appreciated. So links are down below for all these things. Julia, why don't you go ahead and talk?
So a great way you can support us for free is by subscribing to our YouTube channel, which you can find the link underneath the video box. I actually edit the videos on YouTube, so I would love for you guys to watch them and leave a comment. Let me know how you guys like it. I can always like tweak it to be more like viewer friendly. But that's a great way to support our channel for free. And we always put the campaign videos up. So you can always watch if you end up missing one. And then there's another random announcement that I want to show out and kind of plug my own stream for a second. Because I'll be starting a craft stream soon. And my first craft, I finally have all the materials. So I'll be doing that sometime next week. And I'll be making a dice tray. So I'm very excited. Hope I don't burn the house down. But that's it for me.
Awesome. Thank you. I restarted Sirenscape, so if audio messes up, let me know. I'll just have to switch audio stuff, y'all. Ari?
Yeah, it's still doing the echo.
It is? Okay, I'll switch over to my normal headphones here. We're going to lose audio in a minute. I'll do that when we start playing tonight. Okay. So Ari, go ahead.
I'll gladly talk. So, one of the other things that you can do to support us for free is to take part in our Discord server, which the link for it is down below, where you get to witness our daily shenanigans and tomfoolery while we are supposed to be at work or just generally prepping for D&D. It's open all the time. You can chat with us. You can chat with some of our fans. There's lots of live up to date announcements regarding the stream, whether we're going to be late, whether we're canceling, any such things. And there's also, as Austin said earlier, there are special roles for patrons and Twitch subs to come show support for us, to interact with us, and such. So come check us out. I'm not as active in there as I should be because I actually pay attention at work rather than chat on Discord, but we're more than happy to see you there. I'm not sassing you, Josh. Don't look at me like that.
Some people can do both.
Yeah, I know, but my boss would kill me. So...
Starting out with shade. All right. Josh, go ahead.
Oh,
I would just like
Ooh.
to say that with a Patreon subscription, you can come into Discord and chat with me because I don't talk to anybody in Discord, but I will talk to the Patreons. So,
Your generosity knows no bounds.
Lycus the Magnificent himself, everyone. All right. I'm going to switch over to a different scene real quick, just so it kills the audio feed here. And then we'll come right back. Give me 30 seconds to 60 seconds tops to swap all the audio over. I'm going to do it while we're live. So we'll be right back. You guys don't go anywhere. We're going to jump right in, okay? See you in a second. All right, and we're back. So, if there's any more audio issues, please let me know. Thank you in advance. I don't know what's going on tonight, but anyway. So, let's jump into tonight's session of Roll for Fun. Ready to play some D&D. Quick recap. When we last left off, the heroes of the prophecy had successfully slain the ancient boar that was terrorizing the Heartlands and all the communities therein. After discussing things with Kira, you decided, of also meeting Cyanus for the first time, decided to head on down to the Oracle to find out more about your individual and fate as a group. Individual and fate as a group. Yeah, that sounds right. Leave it alone, man. I need more energy drinks. Stop looking at me like that. You traveled down to the Temple of the Oracle, and Kira informed you she hadn't heard from her for a couple of weeks, and upon arrival, you found a group of hoplite soldiers from the Order of Sydon had taken up temporary residence therein. After fighting your way through them mercilessly, you discovered a wretched green woman-like creature, also known as a sea hag, had imprisoned Versi the Oracle and was torturing her by slaying her temple attendants in front of her very eyes as she was held hostage by a water elemental. After rescuing Versi, she greeted all of you, she thanked you, she confirmed that she does believe you are in fact the heroes of the prophecy destined to save Thylea from whatever its horrid fate may be. And only you would be capable of doing so. She also gave each of you individual attention about things that were important to you, things in your life that needed resolving, telling you where to go next and what to do. After that, you met with Prometheus and Kira, and they gave you some information, trying to help you, what's the word? Decode the Versi's austere sounding prophecy. And you decided to rest for one more night at the Temple of the Oracle before heading off to Estoria in the morning. And that was where we left off. So, come back into your characters, come back into the setting, and let's play some D&D. The scene is yours. It is morning, the Temple of the Oracle. Some of you are inside, some of you are outside, if I recollect. You had just formed a fellowship through the sacred oath. The sun is just now beginning to rise in the sky. The oranges are giving ways to the clearer white light. You hear birds chirping. The majority of the temple has been cleaned up after the assault. What would you like to do?
I'm going to get up and go outside to go check on the ones that have been sleeping out there. Also, just to check on Lycus, because I cannot imagine that man's headache.
So you walk outside and I've got like cold water I'm splashing on his face, like hitting his cheeks, like, get up, good morning.
How is he doing?
Well, if I could wake him up, we'd be doing a whole lot better.
I'm just gonna walk up to him and say something in Sylvan. Like, hey, dude, wake up. You fucking lush.
Lycus, if you get up, I'll let you slap my ass.
Oh, God. Where? Where? What? I had a really good no. Oh my God, my head. Why does my hand hurt? What the fuck happened?
Huron's gonna just flip her palm and show him the same mark.
Oh, did we have a little? No.
Looks like someone needs to play catch up.
What'd I say? What did I say?
I believe there was a blood oath involved, darling.
Oh God. How committed? How committed am I?
Well,
to all of us, till death do us part.
Pretty committed.
I'm married to y'all?
Fuck no!
You said till death do us part, and then you said smack my ass. I mean, I'm waking up and it's already seeming positive. Except for you. You stay over there. You're the chef. I'm talking to him. I'm talking to the other satyr. Not you, beautiful. You're not my chef. Okay.
I must say, you have an interesting concept of beauty, and I appreciate it.
All creatures are beautiful. All of them. Except for goatlings. Fuck goatlings. All other
Fair enough.
beautiful. Every one of your beautiful little snakes.
Did
Sorry.
one of them try and bite?
Yeah, that's what I'm playing off as if I'm like twirling your.
Roll a
snake
d6
hairs.
poison damage, bro.
Uh, uh, all right. What did I promise? Oh, I hope it's not like the last time. You said death do us part. What are we? Are we betrothed? Am I married to him?
There's no marriage. Oath of fellowship and blood oath to make it go further.
So when? What's the release conditions? Time? Date? Stamp?
I think I was accurate in saying till death do us part.
Fuck. Okay. All right. Well,
no, we're not
what's
letting
done
you
is
drink
done.
that much.
What's done is done is done. So I think all we can do right now is to really just embrace, hold each other, and really get to just bond together.
I'm not sleeping with you.
No sleeping required. None whatsoever. Cyanus, could you get breakfast? We're just going to bond, and I'm going to really, really dig into this oath.
Sure. What would you like for breakfast?
Some wine, please.
You had enough. I'd say you need something bready.
Fine. 2 loaves of bread, 3 poached eggs, 2 sausages, 3 pounds of uncured bacon, and don't go slim on the pheasant.
Where would we find a pheasant?
Well, I mean,
the
we had a
pheasant
pheasant,
shops.
but then he flew away, like, what, 5 hours ago?
There's a pheasant vendor right down the road. Where else would you get a pheasant? I swear, some people are strange. Where do you come from?
Mitros.
There's a pheasant vendor in Mitros? Of course! Renowned!
I'm fully aware of that, darling, but we are not in Mitros.
Well, yeah, but his name is Arbitrus.
Your eyes just given up at this point.
I can't. Just so much fun.
What did you just write down?
Josh just created an
He just
NPC,
made it
so
canon. We have a peasant farmer in Mitros called Arbitrus.
that's a thing now. Yep. Congratulations.
Amazing. I love making shit canon.
We're
All right.
storytellers.
Yeah, do we have a vegan pheasant? I'm sure. I don't know. Ina, do you eat meat?
I eat meat.
You do prefer
I am an
meat.
apex predator.
You do prefer meat.
That's hot.
She has a really big hammer.
Yes.
That's all. That's all I'm saying. Where to? Temple Mossy. I remember. Where are we going, dear friends? Where's Kira? Kira, my love. Kira.
From deeper inside the temple. I'm coming!
Oh, my love. I'm so happy when you respond.
After a few seconds, she kind of hurries out, adjusting her bag and rifling through it, looking up at you, looking down at it, her black hair kind of waving around her face as she whips it around left and right. She comes over to
And
you.
it's not just like any whip. It's that like herbal essence that.
Oh, it's
like
very,
slow-mo.
very dramatic. A lot of shinies.
Oh, yes. Not all that glitters is gold, my dear friend.
Alright, Lycus, you can stop staring now. It's rude. Good morning.
I'm sorry.
It's alright. I expect it. It's a little old, but I expect it. So, did you all rest well? Are you prepared to travel today to Estoria, like we discussed? I take that as a no.
We are. I think we are all just recovering from both the night and looking at Lycus and just going, this morning.
Alright, fair enough. Yesterday was quite an interesting day. Thank you again for saving Versi. You've done more than you realize. Bro, quickly, before I forget, that's what I'm digging in this pouch for. Here, Versi wanted me to give these to you. And you see she pulls out and hands you 4 arrows. But not normal arrows. They seem to be made of pure gold, finely crafted. She hands them out to you one at a time, kind of smiles and winks at each of you. That is to the heroes of the prophecy. The reward for helping her and voluntarily facing the dangers that lie ahead. It's but a trinket, but it's all she could spare to part with without raising too many eyebrows. On the same note, I have talked to her, and she was able to keep her head about her even though she was being drowned by that being. And she saw me assisting you, which apparently, since you are now the official heroes of the prophecy, I'm not supposed to do. It can get... Well, let's just say that me intervening could cause problems that, well, we can't have. It would make things much worse for you. I can go into more detail at a future date and time if you so desire, but I believe we should maybe get on the road while the sun is high and the air is clear.
Yes, that sounds like a good plan. Let us start.
Pre-walk breakfast. Does anyone have any rations?
John's just gonna hand him just a packet of like
Dried rations? Fruit? Yeah? Crackers?
Yep.
Excellent. I open up my backpack, I shift my rations to the side, and then I start eating yours.
At some point during the walk, she's gonna trip him.
Like, you just see all these, like, scrolls, and then his rations in a nice tucked away little compartment. Slap it on back. Shall we?
Alright. Let's do this. So, she starts walking out of the gorge, higher up along that narrow passageway that you came in on, out onto the flat forest floor around you. Once you all have climbed up and you've kind of gathered yourself and organized everything as you need to for the day's journey, she starts walking ahead and turns to address you as she does so. Well, it's a little under a day to Estoria from here. We should spend most of the day walking unless you want to hurry. I don't feel like there's any real need for rushing. After all, the countryside is not as safe as it possibly could be. But if you want to hurry, we could probably get there in about half of a day, but a normal pace a day. It's up to you. If we take a little longer, that gives us plenty of time to get to know each other a little better. You to know each other a little better. Ask any questions. I know there's been a lot of information just thrust upon you very recently.
I'm alright to take the time. Zionis?
Yeah, let's take some time.
I pull out my lute and just start plucking very gently. Nice little ambient back noise.
Okay. Josh is playing some Lycus is playing some traveling music. Is anybody else doing anything of note while you're traveling besides walking and talking? If not, that's fine. Just
Like, as I'm walking down the path, I'm like trying to finagle with my shield. Trying to just get like a better handle on it.
okay. See Sionis walking along, and he has a shield out and his spear, and he seems to be kind of like practicing his thrusts and like dodging and stuff, but it can't quite find his footing and keep his balance as he does these things.
Yeah, try like this. And John's gonna try and help him a little bit.
Duly
Background music
noted.
intensifies.
There is intensive bardification occurring around you.
I'll come up beside Lycus and I guess look down upon him.
Very much so.
I would like to inquire about your harp. What can you tell me about it?
This harp. This harp is a rare, valuable instrument. A masterpiece created by a renowned harp maker of note for a long forgotten civilization. A harp such as this is probably only to be found within the hoard of a dragon, as I believe this is sewn from the dragon's insides, as it were. But ask me not, for I found it. I did not claim it as my own through sword and adventure, but merely in a game of card and dice. A humble start, if you will, but, you know, it is what it is. Why do you ask?
I am looking for a boreal harp, and I was wondering if that was such a harp, or if you would be able to point me in the direction of a harp.
Oh. Boreal harp. What do I know about boreal harps? What do I know?
Go ahead,
Let me
give me a
count
history
the
check, buddy.
Let me count the ways. I have a 6. I don't
Okay.
know shit about
You know
boreal
what?
harps.
In addition to that, go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Oh, come on. That's another flat roll.
See what happens when you roll virtual dice?
Yeah, 16.
Yeah, you don't add them. Okay, so the name Boreal Harp, it definitely strikes a chord in your memory.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. You know that a harp of such calling is very, very beautiful, and some say even has some type of enchanting powers, for lack of a better term. But outside of that little piece, the little nugget of lore about it, you don't recall anything else.
I do recall the Boreal Harp, a harp of great enchantment, a rare piece, but its origin does slip through my grasp. Perhaps sometime at one of the local libraries or academies, I could try to find you some more information if you desire.
I had heard that a band of satyrs outside of Mitros had one. I didn't know if maybe you would have any connections.
No, all satyrs are connected in one way or another, but perhaps I could ask around. But there is another satyr from another band with this party.
Well, yes, but you are the musically inclined one. So I thought I would ask you first.
I don't know nothing about no harps.
Shut up! Unfortunately, my dear, I am not able to help you at this time, but I promise at the next village, city, kingdom, I will search for your heart.
I will just like nod and be like, hold to your purpose, and just leave, because I'm done with my conversation with him now. I'd rather go talk to people I have things in common with.
I'm gonna take like the next 10 minutes contemplating what the hell hold to your purpose means. And try to be like, Hold my purpose. She means stay the course. I'm doing good. All right, and there we go.
After an hour or two, you go deeper into the forest. The cloudless sky begins to rain lightly upon you, just small raindrops, kind of dripping off the leaves around you, lightly dampening the forest floor. It's a very pretty day. Your wounds have largely recovered. The forest itself stretches out before you. It's darker and lighter in various places, but you don't really see anything now most of the way to Astoria proper. At this point, as you're walking, Kira comes up to you. Lycus. You see her scribbling on her parchment, as she is often doing. So, Lycus, I believe I heard you saying something about poetry, about writing things down several times. Is that something you plan to do throughout this quest?
Plan to do? Plan to do? I immediately pull out 3 parchments full. I'm like, look, I've got the amazing ballad of the boar. I've got the saddening story of the sea hag. Of course, these adventures must be transcribed, and who better to transcribe them than someone who was there? This is my role. This is my place. This is what I'm here for.
You seem awfully focused on earning a name for yourself. And
yeah, it's right here written about 40, 50, 60 times. Somewhere in there. Yeah.
I'm quite renowned myself, as you well know. I would hate for us to overshadow each other.
I will live in your shadow.
Well, I don't believe it is up to us to decide such things, Lycus. We are bards. We entertain, we storytell, and we're only worth as much as the people we entertain say we are.
Mm-hmm.
What if we don't decide amongst ourselves and we don't compete? We both record things as we see them in our own way. And then, towards the end of this adventure, maybe when we get to a larger city, such as Mitros, which I'm certain our travels will eventually bring us to, perhaps we could have a friendly competition. A bard off, if you would. You can recite your poems, I can recite mine, and
Euron in the background is just is silently just going.
I don't mean to impress upon you. If you're scared, that's fine. I thought it might be fun and keep us both on the sword's edge of our skills, as it is.
My dear, I am reluctant to enter a bard up with one as lovely as yourself, for fear that I would push you away in utter defeat. But to not rise to your challenge and meet you face to face on this fair field of battle would be a grievance in and of itself, for you are more than worthy to spar words with me. So I accept your challenge. That in due time we shall compare notes, and we shall share epic stories of grand adventure, and perhaps we may write a book, and let the people decide whose is worth keeping and whose is not. And maybe I'll title it There and Back Again and Again, and maybe again.
Well, I think this will be fun. Perhaps one day, you may even have a franchise. About this time, on the road, I feel like y'all are watching the chat. About this time on the road ahead, you see the ass end, literally, of a cow.
Cabina.
Yes, and the ass
Thinking
end.
and you will lose your teeth.
Oh man, you guys want to fight so bad you're gonna fight each other. You see the ass end of a cow up on the pathway ahead, just as you're coming out of the forest onto the plains, and you start to see you do see the mountains rising up in the distance, and what appears to be off near the edge of those mountains, a canyon or a gorge of sorts between them. But immediately in front of you, 120, 130 feet ahead, as you rounded this corner, you see a cow, and then several others stacked in front of it, and then a wagon in front of them, and two individuals. And then as the road continues to turn, you see that this is a line of about 15 of these cows, bulls and heifers, and a couple of humans and a couple of elves are sitting on the wagons or walking alongside them, ferrying them up this road toward Estoria. What's notable about these is the wagons seem to be in relatively decent shape. The clothes they're wearing are well kept. They're not cheap. They're not ragamuffin at all. One of the wagons seems to have been damaged very severely by something. There's a giant hole in the right-hand side of it. But what really strikes you is all of these cows are relatively gaunt and frail. They're moving very slowly. Their joints all seem swollen, their skin pulled tight. You can see their rib cages, their heads are hanging very low, their udders are dried up, and they're just kind of slowly trickling along the road towards Astoria. And because of their pace, you walking at your normal pace are catching up to them pretty quickly.
Does not seem the farmlands have been good to the people of Estoria here recently. I wonder if there might be a blight or something. I have not heard anything.
Did Versa not say there was a drought? Did someone said that there was a drought?
Drought? Did anyone hear anything about a drought? These animals look half dead. Nearly dead.
Duran's pulling up her hood and like making sure it's her job to make sure it's, if it wasn't in place, it certainly is and is nicely tucked in.
As you continue walking, you get closer and closer. Walking alongside the wagon now, and
I would call out right before we got to it so we didn't like scare somebody. Evening,
Okay.
friends, or hello, road mates.
Okay.
Or,
as you do so, the figure to the left in the wagon glances around at you, and you see he's a very, very dark-skinned elf with black eyebrows and green eyes. He turns to you, kind of slowly shifting his head, almost ambivalently, and as his eyes rest upon you, he takes a second to kind of take you in, and he just kind of... and he hits his friend really close, and they both look around at you, and their eyes get wide, and we don't want any trouble. We're just moving the cows to Astoria like we're supposed to.
We're not here to steal from you.
I didn't say you're here to steal.
I'm not saying you did. Don't worry.
my friend, she's only half horse.
Oh, you sure she's not gonna kill us?
No, we're all good, my guy.
No. Well, I'm not. I can't promise she won't kill you, but we're not here to kill you.
Oh, I'm just not worried about all y'all. I'm just worried about her.
Why?
She's more likely to hit him and point at Lycus.
Yeah, she's more likely to kill me than you at this point.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times he's joked about slapping her ass?
beside all that, different pleasantries. What's going on? What's up with your herd? They're rather frail. That's not even good enough for slaughter.
Well, these are some of the finest cows you're gonna find in the countryside. I don't know where you've been, but if you see better cows than this, I really wish you tell us where they are.
Perhaps anywhere else? Why are your cows so frail? I mean, this fine specimen, this may be a rare breed that I'm not familiar with, and skin and bones is the specialty. But, hard times.
Yeah.
Oh, do tell more.
I'm just going to let him dig this grave.
You're not from around here, are you? It explains why she's not killing us and why you think these are some shitty cows. These are the best cows we have left, and we are bringing them up to Estoria for the daily sacrifices like we're supposed to, and the ones that they don't take for the sacrifices, we're going to put on the market, and we're going to get some money so we can buy some more water barrels, bring them back to the farm, so we can water our crops and we have food to eat. You drip, you picking up what I'm putting down. Watch your step. Watch. Ooh, that was nasty.
You're on wipes or boot on the side of the road.
There's a lot of cows up ahead. These cows are gonna fetch a pretty gold piece. These are some of the best ones that we've had yet. Well, I mean, after all the actual good ones got sent up.
How large are the sacrifices nowadays? Last I saw it was 1 cow, maybe? But...
They've been sacrificing cows every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. And between that and then people eating them, I mean, there's a bunch of people in Astoria. They need a lot of beef. And so, I mean, they're going a dime a dozen. And some people are hiding their cows, but that ain't working out too well when the Order of Sydon finds out. But, I mean...
The Order of who?
The Order of Sydon, the Lord of Storms.
Yeah. Yeah, I know about him. What about the Order of Sydon? We're not from around here, so
they're the ones that are saying Sydon is we're trying to sacrifice the cows so Sydon will lift the drought and stop all these Cyclops from crossing the roads over and tearing up all the farms, and then Hurricane or marauding around places, pointing to Ina. They're just killing people and raiding wagon trains like this one. That's why I thought y'all were coming up on us like that. I thought we were about to meet Mitros. It was a pucker right there, but
pucker factor 10.
But I mean, it's just trying to get water again.
No, absolutely, brother. Absolutely. We completely understand that. I was not made aware that the city of Estoria was having such a hard time right now.
The entire region's in a drought. I don't know where you've been, but obviously, well, anyway.
Not here.
Welcome to Estoria. Yeah. Yeah.
So you said centaurs were killing people?
They're running all over the countryside, them and the Cyclops. They crossing the Arcanum, coming up and down this road all the way down to Mitros and back, tearing up villages, terrorizing towns and farms, raiding caravans. They ain't messing with the cows. Sydon be praised, because, we need to sacrifice them. But it's been a lot more dangerous than it used to be for years now. Rumor has it there's even a shit ton of them congregating to the north of Estoria.
To the north.
Yeah, to the north. On the steps.
Why has Pythor not sent forth his army and dealt with it?
That's a question.
Is he still not the king?
Look, man.
Does the god king not rule?
I'm a farmer. He's a god king. I sell my cows and I feed my kids. I don't live in Astoria. As far as why they haven't sent him around, I mean, Pythor's been fucked up for a while. You've got to know that. If y'all don't know that, I don't know.
Bedridden or not, I mean, still, Centaur, no offense, my dear, ravaging bands of centaurs, parading through his lands and massacring his people, or massing for an attack, if you will, on the north side. It's surely something must be done. How has he not done anything?
I can assure you that the centaurs that are ravaging this land are not from my tribe, and we do not worship Sidon. But there has been a tribe of Sidon worshippers that have come against my tribe and killed my own people. And we are to the north in the steppes. So I am extremely worried about my tribe now. And I would like to get to Estoria so I can send word to them as soon as possible.
Thank you for what you have told us. We appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you for not killing us. If anybody wants to save us a trip, buy the cows now since you're going there.
How much?
How
much are they going to buy the cows for you?
Last I heard, about a week ago, at the market, you getting about 50 gold apiece.
How much is that compared to? This is more just sort of for funsies. Back when they were healthy.
In normal
Funsies.
times.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking him, or you're asking the DM?
I don't know who to ask.
I mean, you got to pick someone.
DM.
So based in prior experience, Mitros, and you two satyrs, maybe a little bit you two, I know. Younglings, little cows, if they were dairy cows and stuff like that, they'd go for about 5 gold. Slaughter cows would go for about 10, and the older ones would go for 7, give or take.
Yeah, so they're desperate for sacrifices, and thus are willing to pay high dollar.
Fuck my life, that's a lot.
How about I offer you both men a fine drink of this absolutely delicious.
She's just gonna put a hand over Lycus's mouth.
Yeah.
I think.
I guess if it's all the same, we'll just
stick to the gold, my friend.
Yeah, we'll continue on to Astoria if that's all right.
Of course. Mind if we pass around you?
No, please. It's public road and all that. Just mind your step. Oh, there. Ooh, mind your step.
That's in my toes now. Damn it.
You smell terrible.
I already do.
Yes.
Actually, sir, you've been to Estoria regularly. I think you can tell I need some new clothes. Where might I find some?
Well, if you're looking to buy some things, and the Agora is probably the best place to go. That's where everybody sets up their day stalls, and they have some permanent type establishments in there as well. They have a pretty good assortment of things. They have some strange, exotic type stuff, and they got some everyday farming stuff, and some weapons for you type people, things like that. Astoria is kind of rough compared to its heyday, so not all glitter and gold and everything you could possibly want, but you should be able to find what you're looking for.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure, ma'am.
And everyone's going to try and avoid any more cow pies.
Ina's just like walking with a purpose towards Astoria at this point. Like the others can follow or they don't, but like I'm going.
You got it. All right. So another hour or so, and you start to see the city proper stand out from the backdrop of the mountain range behind it. The city is situated in a gorge of sorts, a very large gorge. There's rocky cliffs on the right hand side. You see various types of houses and taverns and shops of all kind sprawling down from this large fortress situated on the northern end of the city, higher up, and then the rest of them kind of cascading down this hill towards you to the south as you're approaching on the southern road. The southern gate you see up ahead is relatively open. There's not a lot of fortifications. There's like 2 guards just kind of idly standing by. You see the road as you get within 4 or 5 miles of Astoria proper just inns and taverns, and all sorts of travelers and merchants and caravans are coming in and out, whether it's livestock or wares and goods. This is very much a hub for the Heartlands itself. Elves, humans, gnomes, halflings, you name it, centaur even, satyr, all just kind of going about their business as you approach this, the city itself.
As we're walking up, I just want to pull everyone to the side. Alright, so guys, I already talked to Euron about this yesterday, but if anyone recognizes me inside the city, just go with it, okay?
Well, huh?
Look, I used to do some shady.
Oh, you have stage names.
Yeah, let's go with
well, of
that.
course you have stage names. Yeah, of course. The Magnificent, the Marvelous. No worries. Absolutely.
Cool.
I myself may even be called by a man of another name. So,
That bastard?
Julia just said that. Son of a bitch.
Hey,
You got it, Cyanus.
Cool.
Your secret is safe with us.
Now,
What shall we
Devin,
call you,
maybe.
though? What shall we call you in this city proper?
I mean, for
And I
right
think,
now,
is there going to be more than one name?
I mean, there shouldn't be one name. More than one name, but if things happen, things happen.
Well,
'Cause,
in fine company, are you a lord of something, or the earl?
I used to do a lot of stuff in the shadows, and let's leave it at that. The less you guys know, the safer you are.
With lords and ladies.
I think you've noticed
Anyway.
I kind of not exactly safe.
Well, if you want to be safe, before we get closer to the city, we should go into the woods right quick, and I can do you up.
I'm good.
Alright? I want to see how you're going to fix this. And just for like a moment, her eyes, like her sclera almost go like red, and then go back to normal.
Look,
I get the proverbial popcorn and pass some to Ine.
I will accept the hospitality.
Oh yeah, this shit's gonna get good.
so then I just kind of set up my little disguise kit, and I'm like, all right, so first off, we got to do something with the snakes.
I normally just go with this and gesture to the hood.
Well, if you want to be a little more comfortable and being able to let them breathe, right?
What are you suggesting?
Well, let's see how this this kit goes, because it could go good, could not go good. If you're not super happy with the result, we can just scrap it. Say like it never happened.
I am your canvas.
Alright. So I'm gonna set up my disguise kit and see what I can roll for That should be a deception roll, right?
No, that'll probably be a sleight of hand check, but if you're proficient with your disguise kit and you're not proficient with sleight of hand, then you can add your proficiency modifier to it.
Okay, well, I was proficient with my disguise kit, so...
Yeah.
Cool. And that'll be a 14? Yeah, 14.
I want to know what you do. I mean, just what do you do? What do we see so we can interact with her? Like we talking colors, shapes.
At the very least, you need to make my
Hunchbacks.
skin not. At the very least, you need to make my skin not look gray.
Does she have like some vampire glitter going on?
Let's just do it with the snakes first.
No, yeah, I want to hear this.
So,
Pass the popcorn.
pretty much, alright. Trying to visualize this. Alright, so I take a bunch of, like, grasses and wheats and sort of fabricate it into, like, these weaves that I can sort of, like, drape over the snakes. So, like, they're out, but they're not, like, noticeably out unless you're, like, right up on it.
Are you giving me a Carmen Miranda hat? Is that what we're having happen here?
No.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to, like, make it less snaky looking.
I think you should do flowers. I think flowers with snakes wrapped around them would be gorgeous. What do you think, Ina?
I'm hoping for some beaded accents in there too.
I don't have beads. Unless you want to go find me some acorns.
Can you beat a snake?
I'll just like rip some beads off like one of the straps on my top and like throw them at Cyanus.
Marvelous. Absolutely amazing addition.
Cool. Okay, let me see how I can
This isn't
help you.
America's. This isn't Thylia's next top model.
Look, I'm just trying to make you look presentable and not look like something that blew off the street.
Oh, he is harsh with that critique. Dear, I think there's trouble from within where that came from. That was deep.
Well, you say what you know what they say when boys are beat you on the playground.
I don't think he's dressing her anymore. I think he's dressing himself in her place.
Alright, so I get her hair all done, and then I'm like, okay, let's see what I can do with your skin. So I go through my disguise kit, get out a little bit of makeups, and I make her look human enough.
I think she's too pale. Far too pale.
She just needs some rouge on the cheeks and she'll be gone.
I'm going to grab a rock and whip it at Lycus.
It's okay. I've seen her throw. I'm not afraid.
Ow!
I do agree. I think a little bit of flair right there on the cheeks would be marvelous.
Does anyone else have any more notes? And then I just take out one of my mirrors and I'm just like, look, does this live up to your liking, or should we
Can't show it with just a mirror! I scream. You can't hear you, muted.
I am very studiously just not looking at the mirror, and then, okay, 3, 2, 1, quick check, notice, start to feel the tingle, look away. Just go, 1, no mirrors, and 2, I think I've seen someone try to dress up like this at the Siren's Rest.
That was the stripper costume from the concert 3 eves ago. Oh my goodness, I knew I recognized that flare.
Is it still the same woman? Is it? It's the one with the red
Agnes.
hair.
Yes.
Yes.
Agnes. Yes. Oh,
Yes.
marvelous.
She is wonderful, by the way.
Oh my God, she's got the voice of a vulture.
And the tits of a goddess. I'm aware.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, don't throw her up there for her singing voice.
That they do not.
Alright.
High five.
So, yay or nay?
I might deal with this, but this works.
Okay.
I genuinely, I'm not entirely sure what's on my head right now, bro.
It just looks like a really bad thrown together wig, pretty much.
Okay.
Do you think you could donate some horsehair from your tail there that we could stream?
No.
Streamers?
No.
No, no.
Yeah, that's a negatory soldier.
Yeah, no. Just pushing my luck. I would have collected them.
Well,
So it was my ass you got to touch, not hers.
as you all kind of look up and down, you're on. Pretty remarkable what he was able to do with a little bit of straw and some mashed up berries and a little bit of powdery mud. As he kind of blended everything in, fixing skin tones and things. It seems pretty passable. You know, maybe not on close inspection, but pretty passable.
Like the whole way into Estoria, I'm just like, I keep staring at her like, you look so different. It's amazing.
Who is this girl? Who's that girl?
As you are making your way into Astoria, you see the wooden and stone buildings. Many of them have tiled ceilings of various shades of reds and browns. The streets are cobbled and in relatively good repair, even though they were first laid centuries ago. You see travelers and...
So was Ina.
You see travelers and citizens mingling about, either exchanging goods or gossiping amongst themselves. And every now and then you'll see what appear to be Estorian guards in this relatively bronze breastplate type armor, with a shield and a spear, either moseying up and down, kind of keeping an eye on things, or just standing at a particular post. You see... As you walk around, you see these people, although they appear to be going about their daily lives, they seem overall kind of melancholy or restless. Like something seems a little off, which is not entirely surprising given what you found out from the traveling caravan.
Does it look as bad as it did when I was here last?
It looks worse.
Jesus.
It looks worse.
A week.
Yeah. As you passed through the gates, Kira kind of made a show of this grand entrance into Estoria. And here they are, one and all, city of Estoria. Let the gods be praised that the heroes of the prophecy have arrived. Everything will be fine.
Euron is currently trying to hide.
They are here, as the oracle foresaw.
Kira,
Thank you, and you're welcome. I'm sorry, what?
Euron's just bright. You know, it looks bad with the makeup, but Euron's basically bright red. And is, like, trying to hide.
As
It matches the blush.
Pulling your hood down, you see, as she says this, the guards, everybody within shouting distance kind of turns to look at you for a second. A little kid runs up, everybody else kind of either stands motionless at you. A couple people like run to their houses to get their families. The kid runs up to you. Oh, are you really heroes? Oh, man, this is so cool. What's the biggest, baddest thing you've ever killed?
A sea hag.
A sea hag? What's a sea hag? That's so cool. What does it do?
It eats little kids. But we got it. Yeah.
You're the best.
Goodbye, little buddy.
Oh, high five.
Yeah. Alright, go right home.
You see him whip out this wooden sword and kind of hit you on the knee and then run back into the crowd.
Yeah, little
I hit the heroes!
Fucking little shit, that hurt most of my bad knee.
Well, you're making quite a few friends, aren't you? Well, welcome to Estoria. And she kind of points out things on the left and the right. Up ahead is the Agora, over there at the bottom of the hill. That's the public amphitheater. There's many shops that you can visit if you want to. You see the palace there in all its gloriousness up on the hill, just on this side of the fortress wall. There's the east road that goes over to the vineyards, and the north gate. Obviously, you see the bridge. Yeah, it's the stone bridge, the heavily fortified one. Yeah, crossing the Arcanum. That's the north gate. And just kind of pointing things out as she goes along. Where would you like to head?
Where is the Agora from here?
Uh,
I need some goddamn pants.
There is a main passageway. You can see as you rise up the hill with all the various houses, for lack of a better term, of various different types. You see kind of an open air public square. There's a small statue in the middle. At least it looks small from this perspective. There's benches around it, and then you see all sorts of various stalls and shops and people milling about, talking and exchanging things. It's probably a good 200 feet ahead now. You're getting pretty close.
Just wave and smile, and I've got.
I would like to go get something new to wear.
Huh?
So I'm gonna start walking towards the Agora.
Alright.
Plus,
Kira.
there's always good gossip in a shop.
Sure. Kira walks along with you to the Agora, and this is an open air square, right? There's various stalls with little awnings set over them around the perimeter, and there's a couple of permanent buildings that, if you walk inside, they have their own kind of established shops and presences, but otherwise it's just an open kind of market environment on the cobblestone with the statue in the middle. So, Euron is going shopping for some pants. Anybody looking for anything else, or are you anybody doing anything else?
I'm gonna be looking for some more beads to replace the ones that Ina passed off to Euron, but I'm not gonna tell him where I'm at.
Okay.
I'm just carousing, like, just looking.
All right. Stay honest.
I'm just taking in the local flavor.
You got it. I know.
I want to go to the inn that I stayed at when I first met Kira, and I specifically want to see if I can find those two centaurs that were kind of the traders.
Okay.
I'm looking for them specifically.
So we'll say that because that inn was actually on the road leading up to Estoria,
Okay.
a quarter half mile away, but you would have passed it. So if you were interested, you could have glanced over, not expecting them to be inside. But a quick periphery glance, you didn't see there were centaur there, but those two weren't there. No.
Okay, I am going to inquire about those two. I want to talk to those two again.
Okay. So we'll say that
Because
you
I want
stop.
them, I trust them to take a note to my tribe.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll say that you stopped there for a moment to ask around a little bit. You described them, some of the centaur out there. Oh yeah, we know them. They left yesterday. They usually come back as 2 or 3 days, depending on where they're going. So they may be here tomorrow or the day after.
Okay, I will leave a note then for them, just asking if they would let my tribe in the steppes know about the centaurs attacking.
Okay.
That they were like congregating that way. So.
Got it. Note. Centaur. Boom. Done. Too easy. Alright. So, let's fast back forward. You're on buying some pants. You can get a decent pair of pants for probably a silver, regular pants. There's all sorts of various types and colors, thicknesses. They're all averaging about 10 silver. I mean, 1 silver. 1 silver. So
First of all, new pants, new shirt.
2
So
silver.
I'm at least covered. So 2 silver.
Yep.
And then I would like to look to see if there's anything that looks like armor. Because while this is, decency's sake, it doesn't quite help me in a fight.
Okay. So yeah, you see they have you go up to an armor shop and they have regular leather armor, they have chainmail, they have half plate and breastplate. They have studded leather armor. That's pretty much it though. They seem to be not that they are sold out or anything, but that's just the type the kind of armors they normally sell. The leather armor itself seems to be made of a thick hide, obviously. It's not tanned or shaven very well, but it is functional. And the chainmail and the scale mail, it's all made of brass with these kind of silver-looking engravings along the sides.
Alright, I think then I'm going to go with the chainmail, if possible. Yeah.
I pop around the corner with a chainmail bikini top.
Euron's just gonna stare at him.
It secondary. It's secondary.
How
You wear
much
it
is it for?
under. Sorry. And I slink back into. I fall back into like.
Yes, ma'am. You say the chainmail. This one here, the.
Mhm.
It looks to be about your size. This is going
Not the,
for.
not the bikini, I hope.
Oh no, not at all. No.
God no. He thought I would wear it underneath. There's no
Satyr.
what I would do to my
I
skin.
know, Satyr. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Honestly.
It'd be marvelous.
Is there anything else that can interest in you besides this fine suit of armor?
The armor is the very important thing.
Oh. All right. Well, this is running about 70 gold. If you've got it on you. If not, then
I'll have to put that on hold then.
on hold.
I pop out of the armor rack. 70 gold for what?
This fine suit of bronze chainmail, good sir. The bikini is only 20, but this actual armor is 70.
I will look back at the group and go, I have 2 gold. I don't think I can manage this.
All right. Well, I'll just put
How
this
do
back
you
then.
get 70 gold for that flimsy thing?
Actually, I might.
I've got 15.
70 gold for that. 50 gold for a cow. What is going on in this place? That, you know, is nowhere near the value of 70 gold.
Well, you're welcome to ask around the other armorers here in the Agora, or even the surrounding region, if you would like to argue with them as well. That's fine with me. But
Are there other armorers? I asked simply because I must be a good shopper, you know.
You see several. There's 2 or 3 blacksmith armor type shops with the same type of common shields and weapons and armor. If you want to, you're welcome to ask around.
I would like to briefly ask around, because at this point I have 2 gold and I don't want to have to beg.
Okay.
For...
Like
I believe your inability to come to an agreement will cost you 70 gold in the end. For we will
Euron's
find
just
another
gonna grab
finer,
Lycus's collar and drag him out as she walks.
another finer armor maker. Somewhere over here.
All right. So, if Lycus is going to be with you, providing commentary, why don't you go ahead and give me a persuasion check with advantage?
Okay.
As you walk around to these various vendors and discuss their wares.
Persuasion. Persuasion's a flat roll. Hoo boy. That's a 12.
A 12. Okay. So you find out that from these 3 different armors that do have chainmail with them, of course, and they're willing to talk to you. 70 was pretty average. You can get one for as low as 60, and one of them was charging 90 because it was, quote, made and custom made for his long lost grandfather who never got to wear it, and it has significant sentimental value and the finest craftsmanship.
That armor doesn't work with tits, darling. Have a nice day. And just leaves.
You see him, he gets all red-faced and kind of to a tit. So yeah.
So the 60 gold, you know, I'm a bit of a storyteller myself, and the fine armor to be worn by a hero could fetch a pretty penny had a name of a shop attached to it of perhaps some renown. But it's hard to write praises about the life-saving armor if one is unable to afford it, and I do believe 60 is a fair price, but times are hard, and I would be wondering if you would be willing to come down just a little in that. Not permanently, for a barter, because I will be happy to write, I'll put up a cliff note of your fantastic shop.
You already got me down 2 gold, mate. We've been talking for 5 minutes now. You've been bouncing around to the other armorers. You know, this is the 60 is the best I can do. We've already discussed it.
Would you mind? Otherwise I will have to come back. I have one last offer, perhaps. And Yarn's going to reach in her bag and pull out the gold arrow.
Let me see. Take it. This is fine craftsmanship indeed. I haven't seen anything quite like it. Yeah. Buy a little bit.
Get that in your mouth.
Holds it up to the sun, catching the glint on his eye. You see the golden shaft reflecting, going up and down as he squints at it. Oh, this is nice. This is there's a girl bot. I'll give you 25 gold for it.
25. I snatched it if possible out of his hand. Yoran.
He doesn't resist.
Yoran. I have it. I have it. Do not part with that.
All
I slap down 55 gold. And I say, will 55 do? And I will give you a drink of water.
How about 55 and that little satchel of wine you got there?
55 in my water skin.
No. Save your water. You may have my wine. Oh, and I give it to him. It's the piss swill that I was sharing with them while Cyanus and I had the good stuff. That's on the other side.
Okay, you got it.
He gets the cheap white wine in a box.
He doesn't seem perturbed. Alright.
Nah, but he wouldn't. It's half pickle juice.
Takes the gold, kind of like dumps it in a bin behind the counter. Puts a chainmail down on the desk for you. Oh, deal's a deal.
Thank
My
you.
lady, my lady.
Thank you.
So this armor is also bronze. It has kind of these thin plates over the shoulders, but it doesn't have the silver engravings. Probably why it was a little bit cheaper. It seems sturdy and well made though, and it fits pretty good. Not too snug, not too loose. Rattles a little bit, but that's okay. So
Does he have any thigh-high boots? Just out of curiosity.
He in particular does not. He is more of a metalsmith. However, there are leather workers and tanners and clothiers in the Agora as well.
Okay.
I know what you're getting at. Yeah.
Nope.
All right. Anything else, Heroes of the Prophecy?
I'm just putting it on. Now I'm very happy.
Yeah, he is.
There's a little dressing room in there. There's a dressing room back there if you want to go try it on and everything else.
Thank you very much.
It'll take you about 10 minutes to put it all the way on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then presumably it fits.
I don't think it's pinching you right there though. You know, right here when you were cinching it in. I mean, I could see it clear as day. You know.
Where?
What?
Where's it pinching?
No. You got it.
Oh, I know.
That is what I thought.
As they're over there and Cyanus is off doing Cyanus things, Hero's sitting down by the statue. You see a small group, 3 hoplites, they dressed as though guards of Estoria, walking towards you from the north, coming down from the direction of the palace up on the hill. You see one man who has an ornamental-looking helmet with some feathers that kind of go straight back and then come off to the side a little bit, bright blue, flowing in the wind as he's walking towards you. They march within 5 feet of you or so. Greetings. Octarius here. Was told that you are one of the heroes of the prophecy and that your group has come to Estoria.
And who is this to?
That's to Aina.
Who is coming at me?
A group of Hot Light soldiers. They dress as Estorian guards that came down from the direction of the palace.
Okay. Are they are their swords like in peace knots, or do I feel threatened at all, or are they just kind of like coming at me?
Give me an insight check.
Uh, 14.
Okay. So, as you're standing there, you see the two that aren't the apparent officer or leader kind of shifting in their boots a little bit. You get the sense that they are being very respectful, kind of a little bit of...
Like they should be.
Right. But they're cautious, nervous, a little restless a little bit.
I'll return the greeting.
Okay. Again, I'm here representing the king on the king's business. He has requested your immediate attendance in the palace. Once he heard you were here, he has matters which I am not at liberty to discuss to attend with you. So if your group has the time and the courtesy, I highly recommend coming with us to meet His Majesty's summons. It would be nice. I'm sure it is very important.
I will gather them, and we will be there. Do you want me to follow you, or can I just meet you there in, say, 20 minutes?
It's up to you. We can provide escort, as is our duty and honor, or you can meet me outside the door. Which do you prefer, ma'am?
I'll meet you outside the door. I have some companions wrapping up some last-minute errands, and then we will be there post-haste.
Very well. We'll see you. And they clap their boots, turn around, in unison, walking back up the cobblestone street. Dionysus, they're walking past you as you are on the northern end of the agora looking around. And one of them kind of glances your way and then looks back forward and then double takes over at you. And he whispers something to the other regular soldier, and they just kind of keep walking along up the street.
Alright. Gonna keep my eyes on them.
Okay. They seem absorbed in their duty, marching towards the palace.
Can I see any of my party members? Do I know where any of them are right now?
Yeah, there's a lot of bodies here in the agora, but because of your height and the fact that they all relatively stand out, a lot of people are giving them a wide berth, kind of like, ooh, and like staring at them in wonder. It's pretty easy to spot all of them.
Okay, so I'll just raise my warhammer and be like, to me!
News team, assemble!
Gondor calls for aid. Arm just weaves through the crowd in the nice new armor, clanking with every step.
Ooh, shiny.
I know.
Approaches, I approve.
Yes. I owe him so much money. Just points her thumb at Lycus.
Get him drunk and he'll forget. We have
He also
business
gave the
with the king.
shopkeeper some of his wine.
It was
Yeah,
called
that
when
shopkeeper's
he
gonna
was
be
eating
on
that.
his
It definitely
tits
was.
later.
As I hear them promising me a good time, did I find any beads for Ina?
Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of trinkets all over the place.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I would walk up to Warhammer holding lady, and I'd be like, I found these for you. I figured they would be, etched bone and, very, not beautiful, but similar to what you passed on to your own. If you would like them.
I will accept them and thank Lycus, and also warn him that that Zul may not be so pleased that another man has thought fit to present me with a gift.
Who?
My husband.
Oh, this, among friends. Blood oath.
So see, I'll thread him onto my top. That's fine. But I will warn him that if Zul finds out,
Nonsense. Just between us girls. No,
I'll tell them we have business with the king and we need to get to the gate.
The king.
Yes, the king wishes an audience with us.
Oh boy.
Oh, excellent.
Did you have past business with him, Cyanus?
What was your stage
I
name in
didn't,
the court?
but I mean, if we're gonna go see the king,
Would you like the wig?
well, let's put it this way. If the guards giving me the side eye a minute ago is anything to go by, I'm gonna want to be cautious.
You're on. Just kind of reaches into her bag, pulls out her hijab. No, her hijab, and offers it.
No, keep it. I'm fine. I just need to keep all my weapons concealed.
Very well. This is going to be strange, going to meet someone I worship. Whew.
Perhaps we can inquire about his son.
Perhaps. No?
So
Let's
I will
not keep
go.
the king waiting.
Yes, I think we should just immediately go.
Okay.
Shopping bags and all, to the gate.
You got it. So it takes you about 10 more minutes of walking to climb all the way up to the hill, to the glorious palace of Estoria, situated silhouette behind it, the background, the stone fortress wall, and off to the left you see the bridge crossing the Arcanum River. The palace itself is made out of highly polished, gleaming marble that appears to have been fallen to slight disrepair, but it's still a glorious sight as it stretches 100 feet or more into the air. A large bronze door with various types of inlaid engravings of gold and silver, the visage of Estor Archelander on each door, and the guards you met before standing watch outside. Greetings, heroes of the prophecy. God King Pythor has requested your attendance, and you have come. And do haste. Thank you very much. Lady Kira, I see you as well. It's always a pleasure to see you. The king would see you now, if you are prepared.
Sure. Later. Yeah.
Lead on.
I ask, please, be patient with the God King. He turns and
Did you say be patient?
the door slowly opens. Inside the palace itself, you see it is
An old man.
relatively simple in its design. There is a hallway in front of you that stretches on for about 30 or so feet. The floor, about 20 feet wide, extending into the palace, in this kind of a checkerboard tile design on it of blue and white marbled surfaces. There is 2 doors on either side that go into small side rooms for servants or whatever. And then a glorious hall, a glorious sitting hall with a beautiful throne sits in the middle of the entire palace. Back in the left and the right hand side, you see a couple of small passageways going off, but they seem, again, for personal chambers and things of the sort. It seems like this palace is essentially just a case for the throne room itself. There's a couple of steps leading up to the throne. And as you look in upon this golden throne with the plush red silk type fabric and clawed feet extending off the side, and a lion head extending off the top of it, you don't see the king. You see several servants kind of walking along the sides and in hushed tones whispering amongst themselves right there by the door in front of you and further in the hallway. As the door opens, they notice it, and then they kind of whisper to themselves and seem to kind of slowly excuse themselves. As the door kind of behind you closes, you don't see anybody for a minute. And then from the periphery, on the right-hand side, you see this very tall, dark-skinned individual, muscles rippling, a little bit of a belly. He has bronze breastplate with these black pauldrons and layers and faces on the sides, long brown hair and beard, striking blue eyes, and he's wielding this massive hammer. And you see him thrashing about wildly at these marble statues on either side, running across the entire palace, letting out huge battle cries. Ah! He's trying to engage these statues in a life or death battle. The statues themselves representing the 5 gods. I told you, Mitros, I am the best, and you swore that godforsaken oath of peace. Damn it, you Valis, always so smart, but I am strong, slashing at the air around him. This scene goes on for 30 or 40 seconds before he kind of collapses in the middle on one knee with his mighty hammer and heaving. And you see him reach his side and grabs a skin and just kind of. There's more where that came from. And he sees you all standing there in front of him. It's you. The heroes of the prophecy. You've come. By the gods. By me. You've come. He kind of gets up on one foot and slowly lumbers back towards the throne, dragging the floor, the metal on marble sound echoing throughout the chamber around you. Kind of plops down, takes a hammer, sets it down. You made a sacrifice to me. A big, stinky, bitching beast. Now, before I go any further, I give to you, in exchange for this glorious sacrifice who all the other gods wanted, by the way. You gave it to me. I give to you an oath of service. Anything that you ask that I can do, I will do for the heroes of the prophecy, as long as it is within my power, and so on, and my word, God King Pythor, to the oath of service. Now that formality, just come closer. Just, the doorway, it's rude. You're my guests. Guest friendship, come in. Come in.
Euron will bow when she gets a chance.
Yes, it's very kind of you, but completely unnecessary. Both of you, stand back up.
Thank you, great God King, for that marvelous show of strength and valor as you reenacted that glorious fight for us.
Oh, saw that, did you? I mean, yeah, that was pretty good.
Absolutely marvelous.
That was pretty good.
Legendary, worth every tale.
Uh,
I know
Bring
it is
back.
gonna.
I'm just gonna be slowly clapping.
Absolutely.
You should have seen the real thing. I died in that battle.
I could imagine.
Can you believe it?
No, I cannot.
That was like my 4th, 6th. It was my 9th time, but that one hurt.
Like a cat you are,
That one hurt.
Your Majesty.
I'm sorry. What?
Said like a cat you are, Your Majesty.
Yeah. 100 lives. Yeah. I haven't got to fight in 500 blasted years. Fucking oath of peace.
I'm gonna look at Kira and be like, I didn't think gods could get drunk.
You quite clearly have no idea about gods, do you, Lycus?
Seeing as this is the first one I've met, no.
I'm just gonna lean over to Lycus and be like, look, dude, we have to get some of whatever he's drinking.
Oh, I like with Kira now in this, but like, oh no, that was always the plan. Like, how to separate him from the good shit. But I wasn't expecting God mode to be full fucking party mode. I wasn't prepared for this, or I would have changed.
Euron is trying to keep a straight face. It is just failing.
All right,
it's like,
all right.
You honor us with your oath, Your Majesty.
But we can't say this is part of the service. Like, the wine is not part of the service, because I don't want to use that. I'm not wasting that oath on wine. You know what I'm saying?
Lycus, hold on.
He's looking at me.
He's about to do it again.
Oh, marvelous! A show.
You see, as he looks, his face kind of melts, metaphorically speaking, from the energetic, entertaining host. His eyes get heavy, his face kind of drags down, his lip kind of quivers a little bit. And you see, in the reflected light of the chamber, a couple of tears start to fall down his face. And he puts his hand on his head. So you are the Oracle's chosen. Let me tell you of my woes. These things that plague me. The God King of Estoria. And as he trails off for another second, see Kira. She kind of takes that parchment and the quill pen she has, and you hear a soft as the parchment slams into the marble floor, and you see her fists clenched, arms straight, strut out 10 feet in front of you. Whatever your woes may be, God King of Estoria, Lord Pythor, I'll be damned if you're going to sit there and wallow in them any bloody more, alright? You have a responsibility to the people of Estoria, and you are wasting all your time running around chasing women, feeling oh so sorry for yourself. You're a bloody god. This is fucking ridiculous, alright? So this wallowing, this pity party, it doesn't do anyone any good at all, alright? They have come here to help you. Alright? So at least stop crying for yourself and act like a fucking king. Your Majesty.
And if I might add something, maybe rein in your child, because he kind of abandoned us.
Look at that architecture. I mean, that column is fucking beautiful.
Euron's just not quite sure how to act. Her face is just kind of like not sure to look at Kira, not sure to look at the king, not sure to, like, what the hell to do.
Yeah, I ain't even looking at Euron's ass. Like, I ain't looking at anything right now. Like, what the fuck just happened? I'm not being on the part of... I didn't see... No witnesses.
Kira walks back and she kind of starts tapping her foot, arms crossed, little look on her face. You see Pythor just kind of like... He runs his hands through his hair. Gods be damned, Kira. The oath of peace binds my hands. What exactly would you have me do? The blasted titans conspire to steal away my very daughter, Honora. And you come here telling me to do something? You think I wouldn't fucking do something if I could, Lady Kira? They're going to kill her.
Who took her?
No one yet. And that's where we're going to take a break. Ha! Got you. Cut you off. That's where we're going to take a break. So... And we're back. So, right before we left off, you had entered the palace hall. You met King Pythor, and you got a tongue lashing from Kira being such a Debbie Downer. And apparently, he told you that the Twin Titans are conspiring to take his daughter, Honora. So, the scene is yours.
What do you mean they don't have her yet? Sorry, you're on.
I was going to say the exact same thing. Go for it.
She is safe in the dungeon to make sure she doesn't run off.
Whoa. What?
She's safe in the dungeon?
You put your daughter in the dungeon!
For her own safety. Let me explain. Okay. Ugh. A few weeks ago, a group of soldiers from the Order of Sydon with Commander Gaius showed up here in Estoria. And they explained that the drought was because Sydon is angry that the people still worship the 5 gods, and that they are demanding more sacrifices of cow, and that's what all the rock's been used so much lately. Anyway, all these centaurs and cyclops start showing up right the fuck over there outside the fortress. And then Gaius comes to me and he says, God King Pythor, Sydon requires the sacrifice of Honora. If you do not do so, then those hundreds of centaurs and cyclops will storm the gate and assault Estoria and kill thousands of people. And I can't do shit because of the Oath of Peace. I can't raise my sword against Sydon. I could go take out the army. Well, no, I'm sorry. I could go attack the army, but I wouldn't be able to do anything, and then they would just kill me, and then I'd have to be resurrected at the Temple of the 5, and come back here, and by then, Honora would be dead. And so would most of Estoria. So, she needs to be chained to the rock, like all those fucking beasts, and the basilisks are gonna come up and rip her limb from limb. And if I don't, everybody in the city is gonna die. And it has to be done before the wine festival at the full moon, which is in like 3 days. And she's gonna run off and just go and do it if I let her. So I put her in the dungeon so she couldn't run off.
I start patting him on the back. There. Yeah. No, let it out. Let it out. It's hard. I hear you. I hear you. I got you.
Yeah, but you're making me laugh and I want to cry.
I got you.
Fucking Titan. Nora.
Big old mean Titan. I know. The mean ass Titans. It's okay. You got this. Okay.
Neuron just looks at Kira. And is just like, any options? I know very little of the city.
Well,
But no, I'm trying to work on this.
I mean, we can always try negotiating. We could go out and meet the Centaur army ourselves, but that would be suicide. Or we could let her be sacrificed to save the city.
What do you think she wants to do?
Who's she?
Maybe we should ask her. His daughter.
Honora.
Well,
She wants to
probably
go
doesn't wanna
and be
die.
sacrificed, which is why she's in the dungeon, because she tried to run out 3 times already and stand on that fucking rock. She wants to save the city, which, yes, I want to save the city too, but I can't lose Honora. I already lost her mother to that fucking dragon, and I can't lose her too. There's gotta be another way.
Where might we find Gaius? Do you know? Does he just appear?
He's down the hall.
Oh, really? Just right down the hall?
They're in one of the guest rooms, him and all of his people.
How many people? Okay. Yeah.
This is me laughing, not him.
3,
8?
4, 8.
8-ish? 8 or so?
Okay. Yeah. In one room?
They come and go. There's a couple of assistants with them that do the actual sacrifices, but the Gaius isn't there. If you're going, Gaius is adamant. I've already begged him. If you're welcome to try. I offered him 25 oxen in lieu of her. He swears that it has to be a human sacrifice, and Honora is the only one of significant value enough to placate the Lord of Storms. So I've gathered another 25. I have 50 fat, gorgeous oxen that you can try to barter with. Please, anything. I don't know.
We'll give it a shot. Let's see what we can do, and maybe we can resolve this peacefully. Let's see what we could do here. I got you, big boy. I got you.
Thank you.
I lost my son to Lotharia.
Always about herself.
I know. Punch him. At the very least, I understand your pain. We will do what we can.
It is much appreciated. He sits back, puts his hand on his head.
And kind of just like, let's go. Let's get out. Kind of lead the way to wherever this guy is.
Okay. So he kind of motioned over his shoulder. You see a normal sized, about 10 feet tall, not normal size really, 10 feet tall, 7 or 8 foot wide passageway behind the throne to the left. And you walk down there. There's a couple of rooms, and you hear some voices talking from a little bit deeper in the hallway, and you go into the room. You see that it is rectangular and stretches out away from you. There's about 20 well-proportioned beds in there. They're very, very fine cloth, and you see at this point 8 people in there. There's a mixture of men and women. They all appear very well armored, well armed. They move very precise. They talk in very strict regimental ways amongst themselves. And you see the largest figure with a flowing cerulean cape standing over them, short cropped black hair, black eyes, like a 5 o'clock shadow, very tan skin. He has a wicked looking javelin strapped to his back, and a very ornate rectangular shield on his left arm as he's talking to 2 or 3 people. As you step into the doorway, a couple of them notice your presence, and you hear from the side, Commander Gaius! And he turns and looks at you.
Hello.
Yes? Who are you?
Friends. We have heard that, you were in town, and we're staying at the palace, so we thought we would come see you and say hi, how you're doing, what brings you into town, and,
Friends of the God King, you
absolutely,
mean?
yeah.
Friends of the Oracle, you mean?
Friends of all people and gods.
Yeah. Friends of Lord Sidon.
Like one of the family.
I bet.
Ina's tail is like twitching. She's like, gross.
Neuron's very sneaky. He has like got her hand on like Ina's like shoulder, like steady.
I could almost consider him a grandpa.
Is that right?
Yep.
What can I do for you, friends of Lord Sidon, Lord of all?
Well, we have heard the requests/demands placed upon the God King and about his daughter, and we wanted to see if there was anything that we could do that might help save her life and yet appease Lord Theon. And we just wanted to see how we could help. Because the God King is very distraught at the idea of losing his daughter, understandably.
Of course he is. Such as Lord Sidon is distraught at losing all the people of Thylea to those charlatan heretics known as the Five Gods. Honora is to be sacrificed. It is a sacrifice befitting the Lord of all. Who are you to suggest otherwise? Who are you really to suggest otherwise?
I want to pause real quick, out of character. So, we're talking to the leader of the Sidon group, right, that came in here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Commander Gaius.
Commander Gaius, Order of Sydon.
Correct.
Are they known to operate here? Just out of curiosity, like, is that a normal thing? Like, every town has a Temple of Sidon, I'm sure. Just to, hey, here's your sacrifice, fuck off. Like, is it normal to have a big presence? Like, is it known that, hey, these guys operate pretty heavily here, or just out of curiosity?
It's not uncommon to see groups of them. Depending, they are known. You know what? Give me a history check with advantage. See how much you know.
Okay. 10. I don't know shit.
Oh
wait, no, hold on. I gotta add my history.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 0.
Okay. 10. So you know they operate kind of throughout the lands. You can usually find 1 or 2 of their member everywhere that people reside. They are known to interpret the signs in the weather and take messages from Lord Sidon as that goes. And they also punish those who commit transgressions against Lord Sidon, those that aren't bad enough for him to interpose directly himself, and they promote the worship of Lord Sidon and things like that. But it's not uncommon for them to travel in groups. However, for Commander Gaius himself, that's something that you haven't heard of, at least not directly intervening now.
So they're known to roam and operate within and out of the cities and, come through, but for the most part, this is definitely a very rare circumstance.
Yes.
Okay, that's why I just wanted to make sure where we are backstory-wise. Okay. We're here to save the city if we can, then save his daughter and appease Lord Sidon in any way that we can.
Ina's really struggling behind Lycus as he spouts these lies.
Euron's hand is like firmly on Ina's shoulder.
Lord Sidon's will is known.
Actually, I don't know it. What is it?
He requires the sacrifice of Princess Estoria to prove the people of Estoria have learned their ways and are willing to worship him as they rightfully should once more, to prop up these 5 gods, including the God King, Pythor, and his kin.
But that, forgive me for saying so, but that doesn't sound like it would prove the city has suddenly seen their ways. It would only prove that Pythor is willing to sacrifice his daughter, or that his daughter is selfless. It does nothing to enforce that that the people have let Sidon into their hearts.
The people will follow their king. If he subjects himself to the will of Lord Sidon, the people will follow. It requires somebody of such a reputation and high standing amongst the people to be sacrificed, to make it worthy, to stay Lord Sidon's hand and prevent the oncoming onslaught.
But you see why the people here don't follow Sidon, right? They have a god king that lives in their midst. And where is Lord Sidon? He is from afar, using you as a mouthpiece to rain terror upon this land, whereas they can see and feel and have an audience with a god king. Like, do you see where that disconnect is happening, or does Sidon need someone to take out some crayons and paper and explain it to him?
Euron's just like frantically like going like, Ina?
Tell me, horsewoman, do they feel the rain? Do they see the lightning? Do they benefit from the bounty that Sidon, Lord of all, provides them every day, while Pythor drinks and fucks his way through life? No.
What has Sidon done to prove that he is in fact the Lord of the Storms?
He will prove
or is he just taking advantage of a drought? Is he taking advantage of the economic environment right now?
He will prove it by running the city to the ground.
So he would rule over the ashes.
And all the other people of Thylia will finally come to their senses. A small sacrifice.
And he would threaten the pact.
There are no threats. Only promises.
I mean, that sounds like a threat to the pact.
Lord Sidon does not bloody his hands with such trifle matters directly. Therefore, he is not breaking the oath of peace. He sends his signs.
He's not God enough to. He's using other people to. Because he's too afraid of the curse to do it himself.
Ina!
That's what I'm hearing. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. He will not bloody his hands because he's afraid of the curse that he will inflict upon himself if he breaks it.
The gods are
Ron's
not.
gonna try and leap up and like
That does
cover on
not
his
sound
mouth.
like a god that deserves Estoria to follow him.
I think we're done here. Good luck with the sacrifice.
There will be no sacrifice.
And
Sidon has gotten what he deserves.
He turns around.
Ron's gonna try and pull, kind of like press it against Anna's flag. Like, come on, we need to get out.
I'll turn to Kira. Can he really do this? Hold all these people hostage and still be within the confinement of this pact?
As
Is
long
this not?
as long as Sidon does not directly do anything, the Oath of Peace holds. He sends his signs to the Order of Sydon. The Order of Sydon communicates with the centaurs that are loyal to him. Here we are. That'd be no different than
How did the gods
that
not
would be.
think about this loophole?
That's no different
Why do you think
than
the gods were able to send us?
There's no different than Pythor asking for your help right now.
Well, we're definitely not sacrificing her to that cunt.
I presume we're out of the room by this point. We have to be out of the room to have this conversation.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
talk was, yeah.
I assumed you had walked back down the hallway and you're kind of off on a corner away from
Thank God.
Pythor and the group, yes.
So what are we going to do? Obviously, we cannot let Sidon win.
How long until she had to be sacrificed?
3 days.
Do you think there's a way we can negotiate with the Centaur people? I know nothing of your tribes, short of stories.
I know nothing of the tribes that worship Sidon. That is beyond my knowledge and even understanding. We worship Thylea because she is the only goddess that has given her life so that others may live. And so for one of her offspring to require lives so that others may live is just beyond our understanding. I do not know, but I would not bank on it.
You hear a sound of metal clacking on marble from behind you in the room. And you see Commander Gaius striding out confidently towards you. He approaches, a little bit of elbow room between you. Your fire impresses me, as does your commitment, preserving the lives of these people of Estoria. You are the Oracle's chosen ones. I know of this prophecy. I know what it is foretold to mean. If you are truly they, perhaps Lord Sidon, Lord of all, would be equally appeased with your sacrifice. If you truly care.
By that you mean...
Sacrifice yourselves to the Lord of all? Yes.
all of us.
How does that sacrifice work exactly? You got to do the rocks and the basilisk and the thing. How does that work?
He has made it clear that Princess Nora, or, of course, if we're
A suitable replacement.
entertaining the idea of you all,
A suitable replacement.
be chained to the rock of Estor overnight as a sacrifice. No more, no less.
In 3 days' time, or at any point, chained to rock, basilisk show up, people die.
It must be overnight, and it must be before the full moon and the beginning of the wine festival.
Hypothetically, what would happen if that stone was destroyed? Or, like, if it just wasn't there? Would they have to go somewhere else, or...
Then the sacrifice would not be complete.
Thank you.
Turns around. Back in the room.
Fuck that guy.
I don't want to die.
Fuck that guy. What if
I'm
we
good.
chain his ass to the rock?
Is he quite as valuable as a princess?
I mean,
Sidon seems to really like him.
That
think
sort of does the opposite.
maybe he should
effect,
go meet
unfortunately.
Daddy.
I assume it would be an honor to die for the god you believe in.
Yeah. I don't need to die for my god. I need to make sure that fucker over there dies for his. Alright, well,
Do you think we could fight a basilisk?
uh, I don't know. I think I'd
Yeah.
have an easier time fighting him than a basilisk.
DM, when I was in Estoria and I saw that sacrifice happen, did I see a basilisk? Or what did I see come out? Something turned a cow to stone.
You did see 2 basilisks.
There's at least 2. I've seen that much here. And I'm not quite strong enough to turn them to stone myself.
How do we think Pythor can help us with his oath of service?
The horn is kept here, isn't it? The dragon horn?
The weapon of the Dragon Lord here?
Hold
Mhm.
on.
No,
I rummage into my bag for my notes where I have taken.
no, the horn of
Oh no. Yeah, it's in the reliquary.
Balmetria.
Yep, it's in the reliquary in this town.
The one that we. Oh, you were drunk for this stuff.
That's why I have not scribed it away.
We would drink from it, and it would help grant us some answers.
Oh.
I don't
Did
know
I
what's
get
in
my
it.
answers?
We haven't done it yet. It's in the reliquary.
Let us go find the reliquary.
Might need to ask Pythor if it's okay
Let's
for us to drink from a relic.
Let's go.
I feel like
have-
Cyanus is like already halfway there. I'm just like, oh.
Questions can be answered. Come.
Okay. So, you're headed to the reliquary?
Yeah.
Or if we can go there, or Pythor if he knows what we need to do to get there. But yeah, ultimately.
Probably need to ask permission.
Or forgiveness. Let's go.
My girl.
Okay.
Look, we needed to do this to save your daughter. We're good, right? Yeah, cool, alright.
I've got like get out of jail free cards just like stacked in my bag. We're good.
Alright. So, hearing you discussing this, Kira chimes in. The Horn of Balmetria is said to reside in the Dragon Shrine, which is just down the hill. There is a glorious building there that's built into the wall of the mountain itself. So, there's a very, very kind attendant there by the name of Aesop, and I'm sure he'd be happy to let us see it. And
I'm sure he has quite the stories then.
Shut up.
he has a few fables, yes.
I had to, and you fucking know it.
He has a few
damn it.
fables. Okay. So, you make your way out of the palace, Pythor, head in hands, no change. You walk outside, the guards standing by the door kind of nod to you somberly, knowing pretty well what was discussed. And you make your way back down to the crowded streets of Estoria. Go back into the Agora, you turn left on a side street, and you see the shrine sitting at the end of a very, very quiet street, running up into the wall, like Kira said. It's a large, polished stone, white building with several columns in the front. The top, this gloriously machined and proportioned copper dome, shining radiantly in the sunlight. The pediment above the door has a very finely crafted marble engraving of the legendary dragon Balmitria. As you approach the building, you smell wafting on the breeze a very strong sense of burning incense and light notes of flowers coming from within. And you hear the quiet muttering of prayers of various residents in here, calling out to Balmitria for their own purposes, as priests come in and out and wander around the shrine carrying out their daily rituals. Here, and you walk in, you see a very small-statured elven man, very fair skin, jet black hair, black eyes, wearing white and gold robes, go from shoulders all the way down to his sandaled feet, and he walks with his hands together on his chest as he approaches you. Lady Kira, friends of Lady Kira, who I can only assume to be these so famous heroes of the prophecy. To what do I have the pleasure?
I peer down at Cyanus real quick. I'm like, do you know him?
I mean, I've seen him around, but that's basically it.
Okay. Just
We
curious.
hope that you might be able to help us, actually.
And what could I help you with?
Well, there's no easy way to put it. We were told by the Oracle that to find more about what we can do to help, we must drink from the Horn of Balmitria.
Oh. I am sorry to say that the horn was stolen 2 nights ago.
Fucking!
You're wrong. Oh dear.
I understand.
That was Arya, for the record.
So hard to tell the difference.
I understand your frustration. It's very frustrating for all of us losing such a holy relic.
Do you know who might have taken it?
I do not, but you're welcome to look for yourself. Maybe you might know.
Yes.
Sidon.
No, right this way. He turns and walks through the
Please.
shrine proper. And he goes through a small door in the back, and you see you've entered a small stone chapel of sorts. Several pews in the middle. It's circular, and there's 3 alcoves carved into the walls, each of them protected by glass, except the central alcove, which was protected by glass. You see that the glass has been shattered. The stand that looks perfectly fitting for the horn of Balmitria has toppled over, and there's these strange, dark, purplish stains splattered about the alcove itself, on the floor in front of it, and leading between the door and the alcove itself.
Ah, top level security, I see. As I stare at the glass coverings.
We've never had reason to suspect anybody would steal it. In 500 years, no one has attempted such a thing.
Yeah, why would they? I bend down to start examining the glass and the purple stuff.
Okay. Give me an investigation check, please. With advantage.
double 16.
16. Okay. So as you
32.
as you get closer to the alcove, you bend down, look at the pieces of glass. They appear to have been shattered from the outside. The dark stains. You catch a very, very familiar scent of wine coming up from them.
Oh, excellent. Is that a Merlot? Is that a Pinot Noir? What is that grape? What is that? Is it cinnamon? Licorice? Is it earthy?
You also see in the dark stains on the floor, upon closer inspection, in several places what appear to be hoof prints.
Son of a bitch.
Like the same
I kinda-
size as their feet.
I kind of like slide my hoof over the hoof and see is it fit or is it larger?
Your hoof is noticeably larger than all of them.
Fucking goatlings. Would I assume that's goatlings? Because I think they're smaller hoofs than mine.
That's fair.
I mean, I have experience with goatlings. That's why I was like, I should know if nothing else that fucking goatlings.
It's not the fact that they're smaller so much as they are not shorter, but a smaller statue. They're thinner, right? Their appendages and their feet and everything are thinner.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, putting my hoof print on this hoof print, it's clear that this was not a satyr.
No, yours is easily 50% bigger. That or it was a very, very small satyr or child satyr.
Right, which I would immediately rule out and be like, fucking goatlings, because my history with goatlings is so bad. Like, well, do you have any goatlings around the area? Is there
The
a clan or?
The goatlings are said to all originate from the old wood.
Yes. Do you happen to have an old wood nearby?
The old wood. It's the only one I'm aware of.
Yeah.
About 10 miles south of here. Maybe you. I assume you've heard of it.
Of course. Yes. I'm quite familiar. Have you had any run-ins with them recently? Any attacking marauding bands or anything of the sort? Because that is clearly goatling. Hoofprints.
No, we haven't. I mean, we will periodically get the errant beast running through the streets or harassing travelers, but nothing this brazen or intelligent or coordinated. That's why I never expected them.
I take a swipe of that wine, and I try to place it, if possible.
Okay.
Like, did I smell it in town somewhere? Like, oh, that is definitely Agnes 201.
Okay.
Agnes was the stripper with the goddess titties. That's her 201 brew.
Give me a history check.
With advantage. All right. 13.
Okay. You do not recognize that particular vintage, as it were. However, it does taste strange. It has flavors in it that you have never tasted before.
Very exotic.
Also, as you take a little nip, you have a very strange sensation. Kind of momentarily course through your body, and it disappears just as quickly as it came on.
Interesting. Was it a good feeling, bad feeling, shaky feeling?
It was an unnatural feeling.
Unnatural feeling. I collect a sample.
Got
Just
it.
get my little glass vial.
It's dried, but you could get bits of
Yeah.
dirt and things in it, yes.
Yeah, try it as best I can. Put a little bit of water in there, keep it, rehydrate it a little bit, a smidge. Yeah, and then I'll be like, when did this break-in happen?
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago. And who have you told, and what have they found since then?
We told the guard.
Which guard?
The Estorian guard. He was the
town
one
guard.
The town guard, yes, the one that was just down the street on the night it happened. They came and they investigated, but they're woefully strapped down with the centaur and the drought and people thieving and trying to make ends meet. I don't know what, if anything, they've done, or what, if anything, they'd be able to do.
Well, it seems the plot is afoot. Or a hoof, in this matter. Goatlings have clearly stolen the horn, and we must find them.
Well, I think we might know why they took the horn at least.
And
It was supposed to be bottomless.
I don't recognize this brew whatsoever. Is it possible this brew came from the horn?
Yes, Aesop, what was in the horn? You're told to drink from it, but...
Does it supply its own ale or wine? I would ask the lady.
It has many magical properties. Amongst them, the fact that it is bottomless and does provide wine.
I didn't know if it was on demand or if it was always full.
Oh no, it stays full.
I didn't hear you, I didn't know what you said!
I'm gonna say, alright, I'm gonna check outside and see if there's proof and evidence. Y'all finish up here. Okay. I'm gonna go see if I can, find some hoof prints or sniff out that wine.
Okay, give me a survival check, please.
And then I'll let them do their
I'll
thing.
help.
Okay, so Josh, roll with advantage, please.
Survival?
Yep.
Oh, look at that, I get a +1. That's terrible. 12.
Okay. You do see the faint remnants of the hoof prints lead out, bodily, here and there, out from the dragon shrine itself, and they go down the street and then cut between some houses. Mm-hmm. After about 50 feet or so, you lose track of them.
They were in town?
Yes, this is in town.
Goatlings don't belong in town.
Y'all don't have a map of Estoria.
No, we've been totally, brainballing this.
Theater of the mind. I've been doing well, thank you. There.
Yeah. I'm going to turn to my dear friend, Cyanus, and say, what can you make of this? I've traced the prince to here, over there. Goatlings in town? What the hell?
I feel like we should definitely ask the people living right around here, see if they've noticed anything out of the ordinary.
Aesop seems flabbergasted. He's kind of muttering, but he has no idea why goatlings would come in or why they would steal the horn or anything. Like he said earlier, he keeps repeating, it's too organized, it's too intelligent. Yeah.
Who made the goatlings? Who do you think made? Who do you think made them do it? Who made them?
Somebody roll me a nature check.
Well, it's sort of a rhetorical question. I read this. I know who made them, but...
Yeah, but we need to see if your character knows.
The character knows.
Oh, you do? Okay, well,
remember
go for it.
Library.
Ah, that's right. There you go. So you do know.
Estoria.
Okay, that's not what I was getting at. Go ahead and roll
but
a
I'll roll.
check.
Sure. That's a nat 1!
Okay. So yes, you know the legends say that Lutheria is the cause for the goatlings in some abstract way, yes.
Now, guys, I know this is going to be a bit of a stretch, but do you think maybe, possibly, that dickhead up at the temple might have had something to do with this?
Absolutely. Ina's jumping on that thought train super quick. Anything bad, it's Lord Sidon. Absolutely. I can't even believe I just said Lord. It's Sidon for sure.
Interesting.
Euron's on the Lutheria train.
Okay, but isn't Lutheria like Sidon's sister and lover? So wouldn't she do that as like a gift to him? Because he obviously can't do it on his own. He needs like so much help because
You
he's so
really, really don't like him.
really don't. Yeah, so that's my thought. Like, if Lutheria can control the goat lanes, like, of course she would do that for her lover slash brother because that's normal.
I think she'd do it more for fun.
It doesn't matter. I still feel like Lord Sidon is the reason and or
You
cause
call him Lord again.
motivation. Ugh, ugh. Shoot me. Take me behind the barn right now. Make me glue. That's what's happening. That's what's happening right now.
Euron's like patting her shoulder, like there, it's okay.
Don't waste a rage on this. Fuck.
Not glue yet, darling. I would ask the guard. See what they've figured out more than we have. That's at least a good place to start.
I would agree.
Okay. So, I heard Diana say he was going to ask around with the people, and y'all are going to ask a guard. So, I want you guys to go ahead and give me a investigation check. You can all roll. We'll see who does the best.
Oof. Alright, so I rolled a 7.
Okay. Julia.
I rolled a 9.
Josh.
4.
15!
Okay. So, you're on. You pull a guard aside. He doesn't know. He sends you to another one. After 5 or 10 minutes of getting bounced around a little bit.
I probably end up having to try and pull rank to see if I can get a better answer.
That's fair. They do seem inclined to help you. They just don't know. But you find one who was on the investigative party. They lost tracks similarly, the place that Lycus did, but they did question some people coming in and coming out, and some people traveling on the road that night did hear what sounded like children. They couldn't see them, but it sounded like children running and insulting each other through the fields just off of the road south of Estoria. And they seemed to be headed south at a relatively quick pace. That was on the same night, and that was about 2 miles south of here. They could not get any further out abreast into the field because that was when the Centaur and Cyclops numbers really started picking up, and they were getting very close to the walls, and so the king called them back. And they plan to investigate after this current situation has resolved, and they have more men available to do so.
How long does it take to get 10 miles out of town on foot?
About half a day, if you travel normal pace.
Yeah.
I say we kill him. And like this is like the most serious you've ever seen Lycus. I say we find him.
God damn.
They're goatlings. Let's get the horn back. Let's save the people. Easy trade. Kill the goatlings. Get the horn back. Maybe we'll even let Ina still able to sacrifice old Sidon Jr. on his rock.
I'm not opposed to this plan.
Right.
But perhaps we should. Do you think we should meet with the daughter and check to see if she knows anything, or just completely irrelevant? Because she said in her ways that she's going to sacrifice herself.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would not mind meeting her, but I'm not sure what she. I admit, I'm not sure what she would know that her father doesn't.
Okay, yeah, I'm all for it. Let's go kill some goatlings, because fuck goatlings.
As you have this conversation outside in the street, you notice. Remember, it took you most of the day to get here from the Temple of the Oracle. So by now, it is evening. The sun is starting to set. Guys getting that bright red color. You could head out at night. You're welcome to. Take you, again, about half a day's journey. Assuming you're going to the Old Wood. Or maybe they veer off somewhere else. But that was the only reference point that y'all were given as of this point. So I assumed that. You can either do so, and then push forward. We'll make a constitution check to see if y'all suffer exhaustion, or you guys can rest for the night in Estoria.
Yeah, I'll rest for the night. Let's not get crazy.
Okay. Alright. Well, we're going to head off. I'm sure that Pythor would be happy to give us a place to sleep in the palace if you are so inclined. If not, there are many inns around us as well. But up to you all.
As much as I want to stay in the palace, I think if we stay near the Order of Sydon, because they're staying at the palace, Ina might just kill them.
Facts.
So perhaps you know of a good inn.
We could stay at the Dragon's Tooth. That's a very popular inn here in Estoria, if you don't want to leave the town. City. Town city. City town.
Place. Yes.
Alright. So she leads you down some stairs, back toward the city proper, to the Dragon's Tooth, which is a relatively plain-looking brick building, except it has some very nicely carved white stone accents of dragons with open mouths on the corners and above the doorframe. You can see it's a very, very busy place. There's a whole bunch of activity around it, especially as night's falling, people getting drinks and carousing and kind of drinking away their troubles for the time being. People drifting in and out, can smell the wine on their breath, and carrying food, the scent of the foods and sounds coming well up the street from the open door and windows as you approach it. Stepping inside, you see that the number of people on the inside is remarkably more than you expected, even with the amount of people that you saw coming in and out outside. There's what seems like hundreds of people crammed into this tiny space. Locals and travelers alike, exotic and common people, mixing and mingling. Well, we can either engage with everybody, or if you are as tired as you look, we can go straight away to bed. And I can organize a room for the evening with Delphion. It's up to you.
Yeah. Yeah, take a room. Dinner, wine. Shake off the anger I feel and drown my sorrows at the door.
When we have,
Go ahead.
as I say, when we have a same for me, but when we have a moment, I'm going to ask Lycus if he's all right.
I have history with goatlings, and it is quite unpleasant, and, well, just pretty much fuck them, yeah? Here, here. I need a drink.
Here, here.
Here, here.
Fuck the goatlings.
You hear several people, fuck the goatlings!
Fuck the goatlings!
Fuck the goatlings! Yeah!
Die, people!
Everybody,
Immediately now I'm super happy again.
a rousing chorus.
Go meet your people, Lycus.
No, I shall.
And like before he gets up, I'm like, hey, Lycus, but seriously, before we leave this town, we're getting that wine.
I already got it. When I was patting his back, I took it.
No.
All right.
Can we roll to see if the king notices?
Dude, he was so drunk he probably wouldn't notice.
So yeah, I pull out my cowbell, and I start digging up a tune. No, I pull out my loot. I'll pull out my loot. It's a loot kind of day.
Is there anything in particular you would like to discuss or ask about, or just kind of have a pleasant evening relaxing before you face tomorrow?
Definitely going to be asking about hear anything about goatlings, anything in the area about goatlings. What the fuck's up with that Sidon cunt? Clearly he's the blame for this. What's his
Here,
name?
here.
Damn that Sidon. Well, I can't do too crazy because people are sacrificing all of their herds to it, so they're clearly scared. But you know, I wonder if it's that. What's his name? Kaiser?
Gaius.
Gaius? Yeah, that guy. Geyser. You know.
We're gonna turn him
Gaius.
into a geyser.
Yeah. How dare he bring that negativity on us? But no, just trying to lift some spirits as best I can, and then see what I can find out about the goats.
Okay, give me an investigation check. Anybody else?
All about with that.
I'm sorry, that's fine, but you can do that. But is anybody else asking about anything else or want to talk about anything else? Just curious.
That's a 14.
I might like to find out a little more about Estoria. Just basically, what I'm going to want to try and ask without actually asking is there anything or anyone in town more valuable to the king than Honora?
Okay.
Only like us.
That isn't us.
Got it. Okay, so, for the sake of brevity, the answer to your question is a pretty firm no, Huron.
Okay.
Honora is the pride and joy of not only King Pythor, but of the city itself. In fact, you get the sense that many people are relatively disappointed in Pythor. They love him, but they feel like generally Honor would actually be a better leader if given the chance and circumstance. And so the entire city is also heartbroken and very, very hesitant, despite the threat they face, to let Honor be sacrificed at all.
So the sense I get is if she was sacrificed, that suddenly would not make them draw Sidon into their hearts.
That's probably fair.
Good to know.
So as far as the goatlings, there are tales and rumors of goatlings and maenads luring women and children. I'm sorry, not women and children. Teenagers and children into the old wood to do whatever things they do with them, dark rituals, things of that nature. You do catch the tip that goatlings are known to come from the corrupt union of a maenad and a satyr. As far as any being in town, you found one who lived near the Dragon Shrine, who does remember a commotion and some voices happening that night. She thought it was children playing a prank, letting off some steam as they ran by and knocked one of her flower pots in the window. But she does recall them specifically saying, "Yes, we got it. Nobody found us. Demetria is going to be so pleased." As they squealed through the night. Nothing really else of note about the Order of Sydon that you didn't already know.
Dimitri, huh? Interesting. Recognize Dimitri? Anyone? Ida? Dimitri?
That's Demetria is the Oracle's sister at the Mossy Temple. The one Sionis and I are supposed to find.
The corrupted sister, right?
Yes, the very corrupted lost something. Sister.
Makes sense. Daughter of Sidon. All leads back to Sidon. All roads lead back to Sidon.
Might be time to get that council quicker than we thought.
Fuck, this is gonna be a web.
I vote we get some sleep and we talk about it in the morning.
Yeah.
There is one question I do want to ask though before I go to bed. Is Sidon targeting Estoria, or is he like got his minions like everywhere in all the major cities, or? And if so, it is just focused on Estoria. Why?
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
14.
Okay. So as far as your query about why they're focusing on Astoria, the same thing that Pythor said about it's generally believed that it's because they are continuing to hold the five gods in such high esteem and respectively not worshipping Sidon in full faith. And he's angry about that, and since it's been going on for centuries, essentially, getting more and more every year. As far as him targeting Astoria and anywhere else, the only thing you hear, a group of people that came from Mitros, a traveling caravan, they say something about a horrific storm, a typhoon, has come across the land between Astoria and Mitros. It is horrible. It is impassable. They were the last ones to get through. And all roads and passageways between Astoria and Mitros are currently blocked because of the storm's fury. It is largely attributed to Sidon as well.
Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy.
You're here.
All right. All right.
With that, Euron's gonna go to bed.
Yep. Time for sleep after that.
Kira has joined you, and she was making small talk.
Naturally.
Well, Delphion, they are quite packed, with everything going on in the rural area, and the roads to Mitros being shut down, but they do have a relatively small room that we can stay in together. Even for one such as yourself, Aina, it's here on the ground floor. There's an open, larger door in the back. So we can all shack up together for the evening and head out whenever you'd like in the morning. Okay, well, this way.
Okay. I'll walk around the back to the big door.
By the time you go around the back, the door's open. Kira's there smiling and bubbly.
Oh, good.
Closes the door behind you. There is 6 beds and a large, comfortable pallet for a creature, woman, person, such as yourself. I can't figure out what to refer to you as. I don't like creature. A couple of candles lit in the room. There's a pitcher with some water and some wine. A couple loaves of bread, things of that nature. There are little lock boxes for you to put your own stuff in. They're arranged against both walls, with the feet towards the middle. Anything before you lay down to slumber? Oh. Vera blows out the candles. You hear her climb into bed. Everybody closes their eyes. The comfortable beds wrapping you in warmth and coziness. You still get the very visceral aroma of wine and olives coming from down the hallway, dancing throughout the room. As you drift off to sleep, time stands still for a moment. An identical vision comes to each of you while you slumber. You feel awake, certain that your eyes are open, as though you're standing in an empty room, although strangely you feel entirely numb all over. You smell nothing, you hear nothing, and you see nothing, save for impenetrable darkness all around you, oddly comforting and crushing you with its unfathomable infinity all at once. After a moment in this weird, senseless environment, a whispering voice begins reverberating throughout the blackness around you. Feminine, soft, smooth, and charming. Yet it feels overpowering in the absolute void of this place. Well, it appears your legendary quest has begun. You fashion yourselves the heroes of the prophecy, do you? I expect such arrogance from the brash invaders, but even Thylea's own children. Very disappointing. Heroes of the prophecy, is it? Full of promise, full of hope, full of pride, full of tragically misguided hubris. Lest you forget, despite your aspirations and dreams, you are all but mortal, and shall one day succumb to the endless night of death. You see a sliver of light appearing before you, emanating from some point deep below and slowly growing wider, to illuminate a solitary figure. A young human child, sitting cross-legged and smiling slightly, the light in his eyes contrasting starkly with the nothingness around him. He quickly stands upright, and behind him, a solitary large wooden stake drifts into view. As the child stands motionless before you, he begins to rapidly grow, mature, and age before your very eyes, reaching adolescence, adulthood, and seniority in a matter of breathless moments. Meanwhile, a crude rope snakes its way around his figure, rapidly weaving and tightening as it climbs, until he is bound firmly to the stake. His smile now gone, and his eyes a bit dimmer, a single tear drips from his old eyes, slowly finding its way through the wrinkles and spots so common amongst the elderly. You see now. Rest your eyes upon this poor wretch, at one time so full of life, energy, hope, and dreams, bound to his fate by time itself and his very nature. Unable to escape the eternal doom that awaits all mortal flesh. Why, it's so sad. His body is practically falling to pieces before us, his joints swollen and stiff. His skin has become so frail and thin, his teeth all but gone. The life he clings to so very dearly is practically melting away with each second. You see elongated shadows slowly drifting in and out of view across the old man's face and body. His eyes adjust, focusing on something nearby that you're unable to see. then suddenly grow wide, and a look of fear across his face as he begins to writhe and squirm, frantically seeking to be free of his bonds and flee into the dark once more. Although I suppose not all is lost. Yes, it is true. His pathetic mortal life, all he knows and loves, is eroding away without a second's pause. But he'll always have his soul. Or will he? The man opens his mouth in a primal scream, though no sound escapes from his cracked, gaunt lips. His face contorts in fear and agony as his body thrashes and spasms against his bonds. A flash of dark light streaks across your view. Within it you see a large crystalline blade streaking towards the man's midsection. And just as it begins to cross his body, you awaken from the horrible nightmare. Shaking, disoriented, sitting upright and drenched in sweat in the plush bed you fell asleep in, each of you seeing the others bolting upright all at once in the same distressed state. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. So, ran a little long, that's okay. Yeah, y'all have a new friend. So, let's see. It was my birthday. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, players, for indulging me on my birthday. Finally get to play my birthday.
Joey.
Thank you. This never happened before. Thank you, everybody who came out and watched with us tonight. I really appreciate it, as always. Don't forget, join Discord if you haven't done so yet. The archive videos will be up on YouTube, so check them out there. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. We have a Twitter. All the beautiful ways you can support us. We truly appreciate it. I love seeing you every week and hope that you get something good out of it as well. I truly do. So, if there's nothing else, I love you all. Thank you for coming. Have a great night. And always remember, you're not role-playing. You're doing it wrong. See y'all next time.